My name is Shelley Dennis, and I have worked in the ministry, specifically in the music ministry, since 1990. However, I was raised as a music minister's daughter, so I've been around church music. In utero, my mother tells a story about 2 weeks before I was due, she had to sing in church, and she was at the pulpit singing, and I kicked and made the microphone feedback in the middle of her special, and she got tickled and couldn't even finish. And about 4 days later, I was born. So yes, I have been around church music all my life. Recently, I've had the privilege of being the worship leader at Trinity Baptist Church in Parker Heights for the past 3 years. One of my favorite hymns is "It Is Well With My Soul." That I have lots of favorite hymns, but that is one of my favorites. Also, "In the Garden" is a favorite of mine. A lot of my memories of hymns are tied to relationships. When I think of "In the Garden," I think of my grandmother, one of her favorite songs. When I think of "It Is Well With My Soul," in college we had the opportunity to sing an arrangement that one of our co-students arranged for a small ensemble. And in that song, every time we sang that song, I felt a complete worship experience that transcends the earth type of thing. And so that hymn thus brings back those memories. So a lot of my favorite hymns are tied to memory. As far as the validity of spiritual songs or praise and worship music, I believe that worship congregationally is intergenerational. So your worship has to touch the many generations. It's very difficult, but praise choruses, praise worship music really speaks to a certain generation. They connect to that more readily than the hymns, either because of their background or because of what they're hearing in culture and what they're hearing outside of church. So they connect to those songs. So I think they're both valid. I think that I'm a strong proponent of blended worship done well. And not necessarily that they all blend together and sound right, but that you have all those elements within your worship. All right, picking a song that I don't like is difficult, because I am a musician and I understand different styles and different tastes. People have different tastes. But for me personally, I have a lot of issues with some country western music, mainly because they don't use proper singing technique, and I can't stand to listen to the twang. Okay, but beyond that, some of the songs aren't bad unless they only have 10 words in them. 10 words over and over again irritate the fire out of me. In any kind of music, in rap music, although rap has too many words and you can't understand any of it. But even in praise worship music, there's very few praise worship songs that I enjoy that have a small amount of words. There may be a few exceptions, but they have to have some meat. The text has to have some meat, or it drives me insane. I'm like, well, that was a nice thing, but what use was that? It's like almost like the spiritual gifts of speaking in tongues. What is the use of speaking in tongues if there's not an interpreter present for corporate worship? And so the same thing with music. If it's not going to add anything scripturally or emotionally or confessionally or convicting, if it's not going to add to worship, then don't waste my time singing it, because there's so many good things on it. What is most important in a song, or what appeals to me, is, yes, the lyrics have to be worthy of my time or my attention. However, I'm looking for the musical elements, and I do like variety. I don't want just 3 chords. I do want different chords. I want a nice chord progression that's comfortable to sing, but I like a variety of I like an octave and a couple of notes. I don't want to just keep it in a 5 note scale. Very, very limited. I do like the variety, and I think that most people will want to hear that. You hear it in secular music, you hear it in worship music. You know, a lot, like a big fad right now is they'll sing a chorus down here in their octave and then they'll jump up an octave. I mean, that's a big fad right now. I think it's because people enjoy hearing that variety. I like a lot of variety. So yes, the lyrics, I won't waste any time on anything that doesn't have decent lyrics, or that if, even if the lyrics aren't spiritual, there's lyrics in country and western music that we've talked about that I just am like, why are we even singing this? This isn't appropriate. And so, you know, lyrics are important, but then in combination with that is then the melody has to fit the lyrics, and the chord progression has to fit the lyrics. Many songs have shaped me, and because I'm a musician, and so a lot of them have touched me in many different ways in parts of my life. But if I have to pick one, the "Here I Am, Lord," it's a modern day hymn. I think it was written in the 70s or late 70s, that type of thing, maybe a little bit later. It really speaks to me. It's about Samuel answering the call and Eli, but it's really about how we answer our call to God. Here I am, Lord, send me. And because I'm a minister, that song has shaped me in many ways, and the Lord has used that song to speak to me, to nudge me out of my comfort zone. I think that music should challenge us, and worship music should challenge us to not be comfortable and not stay in the woman presence, but convict and challenge us to be more like Christ. And if it doesn't, then you know, it's not going to move people. So when you ask for a song that moves you, it's going to be a song that's challenging, or a song that's convicting, at least for me.